Good evening and welcome to In Your Own Backyard piano series. My name is Juliette Dunn. I'm the executive director and the artistic producer and the co-creator of the TD Niagara Jazz Festival, and I am thrilled to bring you two great shows this weekend. In fact, we're celebrating New Orleans this weekend as it's the second weekend of their Jazz Fest down there, and of course, it's not quite the same anywhere in the world right now with COVID-19. So we're all trying to make do. And I know that down in New Orleans, they're doing a lot of online concerts for their festival. And that's what we're doing as well. If you're tuning in for the first time to our series, I believe this is show, oh my goodness, I'll have to double check. I think we're at show number 11 so far since we've been in lockdown. Our first one was on March 28th, and we will keep doing shows while we're in lockdown. As long as we're in lockdown, we will bring you live jazz every Friday and Saturday. Thanks to the City of St. Catharines, who's helping us fund these shows. So thank you very much. A big shout out to the City of St. Catharines. So just so you know, and I'll tell you a little bit about this afterwards as well, we have decided to celebrate Niagara's Summer Mardi Gras regardless of COVID. And how are we going to do that? Well, it is virtually possible. So our Niagara Summer Mardi Gras, our second annual, will be on July 18th. It's a Saturday. And what we're going to do, starting this Tuesday, May 5th, every Tuesday, we're going to have Niagara Summer Mardi Gras sessions, and we're going to do fun stuff to get you all prepped for Mardi Gras, our summer Mardi Gras, this July 18th. We'll have some workshops with Cajun and Creole cooking, second line dance steps, mask making, funky second line outfits, all you need to get ready for a party this summer. And if we're in lockdown, we can still party. And if we're not, well, we'll adjust accordingly. Let's put it that way. We also have Christopher Butcher, who's our correspondent down in New Orleans from the Heavyweights Brass Band, who's going to set up some workshops and fun stuff for us. So that's all coming up starting next Tuesday. And to kick us off, we're bringing you live concerts. So we've got Roberta Hunt coming up. I'm going to bring her on in a second. And she's an amazing jazz and blues musician. She's a singer, piano player, and songwriter with her musical roots in the jazz and spirituals of New Orleans. So let me bring in Roberta in here. Let me see how. There we go. There she is. Hey, Roberta, how are you?
I'm great. This is like a green room and stage all in one.
Isn't this excellent? It's a whole new world for all of us. We're just trying to get used to it. And thanks for, playing along and saying you do this, because it's so special for us to be able to bring your talents to everybody while we're all in lockdown. So thank you for that.
Well, it's certainly a spirit lifter for me too. It's something all of us musicians and music goers are addicted to, is live, being in person with each other and just, going with that chemistry. So we'll see what we do chemically this time, but it's a great treat to just have this opportunity. So thank you.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. And I don't know if I told you when we were doing our sound check, but while you'll be playing, I'll see comments come up on the screen and then I'll put them up here too. So it is kind of fun, even though the people aren't there right in your room with you.
Yeah.
They kind of are too. So tell us a little bit about your beginnings with your love for the music of New Orleans.
Well, that comes directly from the Happy Pals and many years at Grossman's Tavern. So shout out to I would say into the tens of hundreds of thousands of people who have been through, maybe millions who have been through Grossman's Tavern on Spadina. And I spent a lot of time with those folks and enthusiastic people who just were so dedicated to the music and a very particular style of it. And just a great place to break in your chops, so to speak, for this music. And it's just joyous music. I mean,
yeah.
It's all about the chemistry. It's all about the fun, and that was what attracted it to me. So I've just kind of kept that going with whatever I do. So, that's how I got here.
Excellent. And then Roberta has one of her bands is the Red Hot Ramble that we're bringing to our Niagara Summer Mardi Gras this summer. And I don't know if you could hear me before because you were backstage, but I was just telling everybody, we'll make it work no matter what. So if we're all in lockdown, we're still going to have a Niagara Summer Mardi Gras. And we're really thrilled that you're going to be one of the bands that we're featured. So Red Hot Ramble, but today, solo piano and vocals. So take it away, Roberta, and I'm going to disappear and I'll have a great show. I'll see you at the end of the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. We'll start with a little Harry Connick Jr., speaking of New Orleans, and a little tune that's Come By Me. It's about inviting yourself over, so to speak. You can't do that right now, as we know, but that's the whole vibe. And when we get through this, we're going to be inviting people over. So here we go with a little Come By Me. Oh, come by me. Don't talk to me, baby. Tell me how we can combine. Will you be my sunshine forever? Oh, will you be my try me out. And if you get excited, take me home. I'd love to be about it. Once we're there, I'm sure you'll be delighted. We can rock all night. See, we might be together. Yeah, that would be all my love today. Try me out. And if you get excited, take you home. I'd love to be invited. Once we're there, I'm sure you'll be delighted. We can rock all night. Let me see, we might get together. Oh yeah, that would be all my lucky day. Oh, that would be my lucky day. That would be my lucky day. Ah, a little Come By Me. That gets you juiced up. I am missing my Red Hot Ramble buddies on that tune, and we like to shake it up with the Rex. We've missed a couple now, so that's a little shout out to my Red Hot Ramblers out there. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and it was Duke Ellington's birthday this past week, and he's all still very present in many of our lives, which is just amazing, of course. And I'm going to do a little version of Do Nothing Till You Hear With Me. I thought I'd stick with the kind of COVID joke kind of thing, if we can make any light of it. A little Do Nothing Till You Hear From Me. Do nothing till you hear from me. Pay no attention to what's said. Why people tell the seams of bending on tree is over my head. Do nothing till you hear from me. At least consider our romance. If you should take the other key, I haven't a chance. I've been seeing with someone new, but does that mean that I've been dreaming apart? The words in my heart reveal how I feel about you. Some kiss may cloud my memory, and other arms may hold a dream. But please do not until you hear it from me. And you never will. please do not wait till you hear it from me, and you never will. Oh, please do not wait till you hear it from me, and you never will. And let my 1933 old Heinzman ring there a little bit. I have to say it is pretty nice to play your own piano. Nothing to say about pianos that are out there that aren't up to snuff, but it is really nice to play your own piano. As if you've been listening, like Adrian Fugia last night was just awesome, and we've heard Peter Shea. We got to hear Attila Fias at his piano, just amazing. So really a big shout out to Juliet for putting this all together and getting some piano players working over their ivories. So as we all know, life goes on in the middle of all of this, and I just want to play a little tune for a friend of ours who's a big Red Hot Rambler, and she lost her dad a couple of days ago. And Sherry, this one is for you and your dad, and I know he was a huge fan of ours, and everything's not normal, but way deep in the music we can get as normal as we can, and I want to play this one for you. So for all of those who are feeling some kind of grieving process through this all, I'm going to do a tune by Kermit Ruffins called You Better Second Line. And as you know, second line is getting up there and dancing and celebrating, and I'm going to do a little bit of that. Normally we do a call and response, so everybody out there, you'll know the part. You better second line, you can do a little call response with me, and I'm sure I'll hear you in spirit. So we're going to start off with a little hymn to get this one going. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we shall sing and shout victory. Onward to the prize before us, and soon such beauty we behold, and soon the pearly gates will open, and we shall tread the threads in the streets of gold. When I die, you better second line, second line. When I die, you better second line. You better strike up the band each day of the week. Parade my soul up and down the street. When I die, you better second line. Oh, when I die, you better second line, second line. Oh, when I die, you better second line. You better put my coffin on top of the bar and set the jukebox to a Lonesome. When I die, you better second line. Second line, second line. When I die, you better second line. You better roll out the piano into the street and shake what you got to make me feel when I die. You better say it again. One more, here we go. You better second line when I die. You better second line. Put those gators on my big feet in case it's too hot for me to take my heel when I die. You better second line. Oh, when I die, you better second line. Thanks for the backup singing that I know was going on out there. I'm sure a few of you were up there with your tambourines at home, and it's getting close to making noise for the frontline workers. So get your tambourine; it's warmed up, I hope. I can't open the windows and go outside because let the sound outside because it gets a bit noisy. But yeah, so we're gonna stick with the New Orleans vibe and do a great tune by Randy Newman. And you know, this tune is covered 1,000 times by everybody in New Orleans, and it's really just become a mantra of theirs, a way of getting through when everything's falling apart. And so we are going to do a little Louisiana, 1927. And those of you who have heard it before know that it's about the floods in Louisiana and how people were just basically left to fend for themselves. And unfortunately, the case is still the case in some places in the world. So let's we're all trying to draw awareness to helping people that need it. So here we go. What's happening down here is the winds have changed. Clouds roll in from the north and it started to rain. It don't rain real hard for a real long time. 6 feet of water, the streets of Evangeline. The river rolls all day, it rolls all night. Some people got lost in the flood. Some people got wet all back. The river busted clear, you down the black mine. 6 feet of water, the streets of Evangeline. Louisiana, Louisiana, trying to wash us away, trying to wash us away. Louisiana, Louisiana, trying to wash us away, trying to wash us away.
trying to wash us away, trying to wash us away.
Oh, Louisiana. It is such a great tune. And Randy Newman, you can't go wrong with Randy Newman. I know I've been, these days you get a little more time to yourself, to say the least. And I was in quarantine for the first couple of weeks. I was in the States just before. And so I came home and locked down. And what did I do? With my first bit of spare time, I read Elton John's autobiography. Why not? And it's probably the best thing you can read when you're in quarantine, because he lived so large. And so, you know, we get into exploring different things. And I kind of went into listening to stuff that I hadn't listened to in ages. And I went back to the great Danielle Lanois. So when, you know, I grew up, it was late 80s, I guess it was. 89 maybe, when this album came out, Acadie. So a little connect from Louisiana. I'm going to do a song off of Acadie by Danielle Lanois, and this one is Under a Stormy Sky. So this is a little shout out to the Hammer and everybody in that area. There's actually a little quote in here about the TH&B. It's the Toronto, Hamilton, and Buffalo Railway. So everything that's going through Steeltown. Anyway, a fun little twist on the Danielle Lanois tune, Under the Stormy Sky.
Baby, danse avec moi ce soir en dodo. Danse avec moi, bébé, under the stormy sky. Papa, il va de la terre et la vache. Danse avec moi, bébé, under the stormy sky. Chante pour les joues de violon et fais l'accordéon. Danse avec moi, bébé, under the stormy sky. When I hear the river will cry, I hear the blue heron fly over sugar hill, snow by big blue siren in the night. Come with me, my baby, we go under the stormy sky. THNB, the diesel turning, calling you and me to the city of steel, smokestack spinning wheel. Come with me, hey baby, we go on the stormy sky. My heart is sad to leave Sugar Town. Goodbye, Sugar Hill, on this stormy night. I said, bébé, danse avec moi ce soir, on fait dodo. Danse avec moi, bébé, under the stormy sky. Ce soir, danse avec moi, ce soir, on fait dodo. Danse avec moi, bébé, under a stormy sky.
Plus that adds a bit of CanCon. So, you know, there we go. Little Danielle Lanois. I hope he isn't, you know, his ears are burning somewhere. And of course, Danielle is heavily dipped in the culture of New Orleans too. And there's just so much of it. It's just so wonderful. And I'm glad that Juliet's trying her darndest to keep Mardi Gras going on up here. So we're looking forward to playing for however many people, whether it's 5, 10, or whatever happens. we'd love to do that. It is different, but you don't want to get too used to this because it's, of course, in this scenario, it's pretty one-sided. So you're all basically captive. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to do another kind of COVID quarantine joke song. Not joke, but it's just a little, just on words, a little keeping out of mischief now, which I technically am, I think, I hope.
Don't even go to the movie show when you're not by my side. I just stay at home with the radio. I'm satisfied. All my flirting days are done. On the level from now on. I'm keeping out of mischief now. Really, I'm in love and how I'm through playing with fire. It's you whom I desire. All the world can plainly see. You're the one for only me. I have told them in advance they won't break up our romance. I'm living up to every vow. I'm keeping out of mischief now. Keeping out of mischief now. Really, I'm in love and high. I'm through playing with fire. It's whom I desire. All the world can see. You're the one for only me. I have told them in advance. You can't break up our romance. Living up to every vow. I'm keeping out of mischief now. A little tune for all the dancers out there, all the swing and blues dances that we miss playing so much. It's just so we'll get there. We'll get back. You know, dancing is not something that's easily done, socially distancing. So we look forward to playing for them again. I think I'm going to do a little instrumental, which is something I don't often do. But, you know, when we're at home alone, we dig into some other repertoire. And this is actually an Oscar Pettiford tune, which is totally out of my normal realm, but I like to just I like the title of it too. It's called Swingin' Till the Girls Come Home. So here we go with a little swing tune.
girls come home. So just a fun little moving and shaking kind of tune. Another tune that I love to play with Birdie and the Gents. Yay, you guys, I miss you a lot. I have one gent in the house, but not the rest of you, unfortunately. It's not easy to jam over the internet, but it's going to happen. And in the meantime, I'm going to do a tune called Whenever You're Lonesome. And I found out that this comes from 1922. So like we're heading up to 100 years on this tune. So just a great old tune. Hope you enjoy it. Whenever you're lonesome, just telephone me.
Whenever you're lonesome, just you telephone me. When you're on your lonesome and you need a little company, blues overtake you. I won't forsake you. Oh, you know my heart will be waiting for you. This world may divide us from Frisco to Maine. Oh, but I'd walk a million miles to see your sweet smile again. Your kisses and your laughter, oh, they're worth running after. Oh, whenever you're lonesome, sugar, just you telephone me. This world may divide us from Frisco to Maine. Oh, I go a million miles to see your sweet smile again. Your kisses and your laughter, running after. Oh, whenever you're lonesome, sugar, just you telephone me.
Just seeing some notes up there, and I just saw some people, Greg, Luke, lots of people commenting. So thank you so much for coming over tonight. This is great. We have capacity at this place. It's small, so it's not like we can have a huge party and a number of people that are joining tonight. So it's really nice. I really appreciate you just being in the moment for an hour. Before all of this, being in the moment for an hour was probably pretty hard. But we're all getting used to it, which is maybe a good thing. I don't know. I'm going to do a little tune that I just, I'm getting a little prompt. Yes, that's maybe a great idea. Aha. I have a producer who's also a percussionist. Great idea, Glenn. So thank you. There is a tip jar, the music appreciation jar. And what we're going to do with that tip jar tonight, for anybody who's donating to the PayPal link that I have up there, it's PayPal, Pay Me, Red Hot Ramble. Juliet's got the link up there. For anybody who's donating tonight, what I'm going to do with that money, we're gonna give it to the food bank. So we're the lucky ones. We we are still here. We still have a roof. We still have our instruments. We're good. And, you know, I think to help those who we see line up around the block at this time is pretty hard to see, and we want to support those people. So we'll do that. We'll do that today. So anybody who wants to donate, even if they're not watching, send the link to someone else and get them to contribute. It's definitely tough for a lot of people for a lot of reasons, but they shouldn't be worried about food for sure. So thank you to everybody who's donating, and thank you. It's just, it is a heartwarming time for sure. And with that in mind, I'm going to try a little bit of a waltz tune, and this one is definitely how it's felt for the last couple of weeks. Spring is just taking its sweet time, and so this one is called "Spring Will Be a Little Late This Year" by Frank Presser. Spring will be a little late this year. It's coming. It's brighter out there. It's still bright. It's, you know, 7:40 and it's sunny out there. So we just got to keep positive about that. Be bright, wear bright, and whatever it takes to get through this together. So yeah, I was, you know, finding some other repertoire that I don't normally play. And way back when, a couple of musician friends of mine, actually two separate ones who did know each other, both said you should try this tune. And then of course I heard Leon Redbone do it, and I guess that was the clincher. It's a tune called "Why," and for those of you who are out and about with us, you know that we do a tune called "Why," but this is another why. I'm in seeking every why there is right now, and this one's by Jelly Roll Morton. So hope you enjoy this one called "Why."
I said, why? Oh, won't you kindly tell me why? You always leave me high and dry and give all the other girls a chance. Will you? I know you want me near you. Oh, to be you miss it awfully pleasant if you chandelier. You know there's lots of kissing, reminiscing. Oh, I wanna hear the words that you once whispered. Why? Oh, won't you tell me why? Oh, why are you so captivating? Why are you so aggravating? And oh, for me, let's go on waiting patiently. You know there's lots of kissing. Oh, we are missing. Oh, I wanna hear the words that you once whispered. Why? Won't you tell me why? A little jelly roll, Morton. Just some fun. Just some fun. I'm gonna do another some more CanCon, and this one's by Leonard Cohen, and it's called "Dance Me to the End of Love." Dance me to your beauty and the burning violin. Dance me through the panic till I'm gathered safely in. Lift me like an olive branch should be my homeward done. Dance me to the end of love. Dance me to the end of love. Oh, let me see your beauty with no innocence undone. Let me feel you moving like they do in Babylon. Show me slowly I know the limits of. Dance me to the end of love. Oh, dance me to the end of love. Dance me to the wedding now, and dance me on and on. Dance me very tenderly, and dance me very low. With both of us beneath our love, and both of us beyond. Dance me to the end of love. Oh, dance me. Oh, dance me. Oh, dance me to the end of love.
Oh, Professor Longhair at the end there. Just a little shout out to little end there. So in my digging around and in my reading of Elton John's autobiography, he was going on and on about Leon Russell. So Leon Russell, a very intimidating looking man who wrote The Masquerade. So everybody, George Benson's version of it, and Stevie Wonder, lots of great versions of it. I'm not going to do that one, but it could be kind of cool. We'll see. So I got digging, and you know, thank goodness for Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. And you dig around and you find some great things. So I found this tune that's called "Roll Away the Stone." So I have kind of envisioned that we're all just gonna, you know, one day after this is all over, kind of come out of our caves, as it were. So with that in mind, I thought, well, I'll just give it a shot, and it's a lot of fun. But Leon Russell, what an interesting dude, and I knew a little bit about him, but it was kind of neat to go through his repertoire, and yeah, it's cool. There's lots of different angles to it, and he wrote some really schmaltzy stuff, and then he wrote some really rock stuff too. So here we go with "Roll Away the Stone." Leon Russell, look him up. He's a real character, and I just couldn't resist. I couldn't resist doing that too. So, it's just great to play. It's different knowing that you're all out there. It's different than practicing, of course. You know, an hour goes by really quickly practicing these days. I don't know. It's just great to have the time to do it. But it's even better when we're together. So thank you for joining in, and thank you to Juliet and Peter for putting this together and keeping the vibe going and wanting to get connected to New Orleans and all of the musicians there. And I know Chris is going to do a great job connecting and talking about that tomorrow night. So tune in again, spread the word wide, and we'll we'll just, support everybody out there who's trying to do their own thing from their house, so really great. I'm really happy to have been a part of it. I'm going to do one more tune, and I think everybody who's heard the Red Hot Ramble knows this one, so by all means, sing along. This one's called Today Will Be a Good Day, and you're going to hear this tune on our next album, and it's recorded. It's almost ready, but we don't want to do a release until we have people in a room. So we're waiting for that, and in the meantime, we'll do a little Today Will Be a Good Day.
Sweet light of morning, when the sun begins to shine, I was awakened by the wind, the birds just flying high. They were telling one another, yeah, today will be a good day. I'm gonna make it that way. I'll get myself up to greet the day. I think a good Lord, what it may. I'll make my bed up on the sun. I make myself some strong. I read the newspaper, see what they have to say. Whether it's good news, oh, just news, yeah. Today will be a good day. I'm gonna make it that way. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. I'm down in the other way now. It's gonna be a good day. As long as we're here, with each other, gonna be a good day. Good day. Wouldn't have it any other way. I know. Whether it's good news, oh, it's just news. Yeah, today will be a good day. I'm gonna make it that way. I'm gonna give me a wheel and a voice. Make a difference. Just one choice. You know it's in hand. As long as I'm living, I'm gonna take a stand. I'm gonna do my best. I'll hear them when I sing. Today will be a good day. I'm gonna make it that way. Gonna do my best. Hear me when I say today will be a good day. I'm gonna make it that way. Thanks again, everybody. Juliet.
Hey, thanks
for
Roberta.
setting us up and providing entertainment for our Friday night.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. Thank you so much. Did you have fun?
Oh yeah.
It looked like you did.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not the same, but it's fun.
It's
That's
not,
true.
it isn't, but you had so many people watching and commenting. You can watch like because it'll stay up on our Facebook channel.
Yeah,
You had
great.
such great engagement and lovely comments, and it's like we were all there with you, honestly.
Well, I know that lots of people know the words to a lot of the songs, so they were singing them for, so that's good.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are quite a few people dancing in their living rooms or on their porches, for sure.
Great. That's good.
Yeah, so thanks again. Well,
So welcome.
we'll look forward to having you and Red Hot Ramble on Saturday, July 18th. So either we'll live stream it to the peeps who are in lockdown, or maybe we'll have a few people in tents for our tentative concert series. However we're going to do it, there will be a Niagara Summer Mardi Gras, and you guys are a part of it, and we're so excited.
Awesome. You are so determined. I love it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have determination. That's
I'm not going to let this COVID
You
keep
are
us in.
not.
Seriously. Like,
Your
if it keeps
teeth are
us
dug
in,
into it.
yeah, if it keeps us in, we'll just party on our properties and wave at our neighbors.
That's
Right?
it. That's what's
So-
going to happen.
Yeah. So thanks again. Stay safe.
welcome.
And everybody, will see you tomorrow night, 7:00 with Christopher Butcher. Thanks again, Roberta. That was amazing.
You're so welcome. See you, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.